Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to talk about how I use Rocksmith in my guitar practice routine, and I will show you how you can use it as well, even if you are a beginner guitar player or an advanced guitar player. So let's get started. Okay, for those of you who have no idea what Rocksmith actually is, it's a software published by Ubisoft which helps you learning the guitar and has a lot of different parts as well. For example, the sound designer, where you can experiment with pedals, amps, preamps and all the other stuff to find your own sound which you want to recreate. You have the guitarcade part, where you can play technique games which have all the different techniques you need, like bending, string skipping, slides and all the other stuff, and they're in an 80s arcade game mode. So they're actually pretty fun, and you can use them for a warm-up, and they help you increase mastering, or they help you mastering that technique. You got a score tech part, so when you learned a song to at 100%, then you can check yourself or challenge yourself and play them in an arcade game mode where you earn points and can compare yourself to others. You have a lessons part where you can learn the basics, like slides, bendings, how to hold chords. It's actually pretty neat. Thing is, they only show you how it's done. You have to figure it out if you're doing it right. But yeah, that's the point of learning online or with a game. And you got a session mode which creates backing tracks for you. You can decide which instruments you want to have, which note, or on which note or which scale you want to play, the tempo and all the other stuff, and then you just jam around, and based on your playing it creates a backing track. So, but the main part I want to focus on today is to learn a song. Here you have all the songs you can learn. Basically, Rocksmith comes with, I think, about 50 to 80 songs already installed, and you can buy thousands of them. I think altogether it's about 1,500 songs. You can buy them via the Steam store or PlayStation store or whatever, which system you're playing. So you have a really big library of songs you can learn with different tunings, different difficulties whatsoever. And if you want to learn a song, you have a lot of options. Let's just check into the one example song. I'm taking Holy Diver by Dio. So when you start the song, you can see at the above there's the difficulty. I already set this in for specific parts to 100%. You will see in a few minutes why. And it gives you some recommendations what you should do. So the first one is play the song, obviously. Take the lesson about moving notes, so you know how to get around the neck, and hit a 5-note series with this song. So actually pretty easy, but as soon as you progress with that song, the recommendations increase as well. So it says like hit 100 notes right, or do this specific lesson and so on. You can change your playing style, so I'm now at the rhythm guitar mode. You can change to lead guitar mode or even bass. Or if you have the song already at 100%, or you know it because you learned it before outside of Rocksmith, then you can go to the score tech part and see how good you perform. So we will start with just playing the song, and I will show you the two different parts on how you can learn a song. And the part number 1 is the dynamic difficulty, and part number 2 is the riff repeater, and they basically go hand in hand. So for the purpose of this video, I don't play the full song, and I will just show you on the first part what you can do. So let's just stop right here, and as you can see now, hitting the spacebar here opens the riff repeater menu, and now I can change all the settings. Usually when you start with dynamic difficulty, the game sets the difficulty to a level you want to have. Like 0 is just really one specific note of a chord and not even all the chords. And as soon as you hit these notes right, then the difficulty increases. So at the end you get to 100%, and you get the same as you can see here. This is actually great for beginners. So if you really don't have a clue which note you should hit, how to hold a chord, it's easy for you to start with a lower difficulty and let the game choose the difficulty for you, so that you can increase, and you can go you can go back if you say, okay, this is now too difficult for me, set the difficulty a few steps back. If you are already familiar in how to hold chords and how to play single notes and all the stuff, and you really want to learn a song, then the riff repeater is the part for you. I would always recommend going to at 100% difficulty, because a lot of learning parts, riffs, solos depends on muscle memory, and it really helps if you know all the chords and single notes directly from the start. So for the purpose of this video, I took the first part, the intro part of Holy Diver. We can see it's at 100% difficulty, it's at 100% tempo, and we can choose different settings, like for example how tolerant he is. So if I hit one or two notes, don't hit one or two notes. Okay, it was just a small mistake, but altogether you got the part right. Or you can say, okay, the tolerance is really low, so you have to play every note right. This can actually sometimes be a pain in the ass, for the reason that sometimes Rocksmith doesn't recognize the notes you're playing. So even if you hear the note on your guitar, you're playing it right, Rocksmith says, nah, you didn't hit that right. So I would recommend setting the tolerance to middle, so that you can really increase. So we will start with this first part. Let's see how we can perform. So as you could see, Rocksmith told me I had 3 notes missed. Okay, so now I'm not really perfect at this. Who would have guessed? So let's decrease the difficulty to, let's say, 80%, and we can see if we can do it right now. And when you make a mistake, a real mistake, so you didn't hit any note, then Rocksmith will show you in the next part. So when you play this part, in the repeat, when you play this part again, we show you which note you didn't hit. So there's an exclamation mark direct next to the note, so you can see, okay, this was the one where I messed up the last time, so this time I should hit it right. For the riff parts, it's actually pretty nice. And when you want to go to the solo part, I have to leave the song because I'm now at the rhythm guitar. I will change to lead guitar. So let's just go into one of these solo parts. So we can see here, based on my previous playings, Rocksmith said, okay, the difficulty is set to 21%. Let's see how we perform. But when we say we want to increase the difficulty to, let's say, about 60%, so obviously playing it at 60% difficulty is just too much for me, but you get the point that if you want to learn the solo part, then you just go to this specific part, can decrease the difficulty, the tempo, and you can repeat it until you got it right. One thing I really don't like is that sometimes the parts are too big. So you have the part you want to learn or you want to repeat is too long to learn it all in one take. I would prefer even smaller bits. So like then you have really a 2-bar part you can repeat until you get that right, and then the next 2 bars, because sometimes it's really a lot. If you have many, or if you have a lot of different notes you have to play, it's really hard to memorize it all and to get it right. So you need a lot of time for that, which is actually not that bad, but yeah, it's sometimes pretty difficult. So basically that's just the main part, how you can use Rocksmith in your guitar practice routine. You can do a lot of different things more, from playing the lessons to the guitar arcade, the games, to help you increase your technique. But I think the learn a song mode with dynamic difficulty and the riff repeater is a really great tool to learn parts, to repeat them, to get them to know, and at the end you got the master mode where all the notes you have to play are disappearing from the screen, so you have to memorize them, which is also great because sometimes you get the feeling that when you're playing too much Rocksmith that you can only play what you're seeing on the screen. And if you try to recreate it an hour later without the Rocksmith, it's sometimes, okay, I forgot totally what to play, which can be bad. So I would totally recommend sometimes playing it outside of Rocksmith too, but it helps you learning the song. You get an automatic part where you can decrease the tempo, can really slow down into a specific part and learn that part, which is great. So that was basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Do you use Rocksmith, or do you use different tools, or do you have any questions regarding Rocksmith? Then yeah, please put them in the comments below. Until next time, bye.